all invited guests, my fellow officers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I want first to correct the impression that this is Hilary Mutiabai. I'm Deputy Inspector General in charge of Kenya Police Service, Edward Bogua. Apologies from the Inspector General, who has traveled out of the country early this morning. So I'm going to read his speech. I'm indeed honored to be here today during the launch of Policare program. Allow me to start by recognizing our partners who have supported us in realizing this new concept. The program will maximize the service with dignity. Will be personalized in giving care to victims of sexual and gender-based violence in a more humane and honorable manner. It will work within the National Police Service structures and will be domiciled in the Kenya Police Service. The idea was conceived some years ago, and it has taken the effort of our officers together with our esteemed partners who have always believed in us to bring it to fruition. Resources have been spent in terms of finances, time, and human hours, and I appreciate the input we have got from our good partners. The effort will surely translate into good service to the wananchi who will be served in these centers. This program is aimed at improving citizen satisfaction. Police daily interaction with the citizens is the most significant determinant of public opinion and police acceptability across the population. This program will reduce the number of negative encounters between the police and the civilians and boost public perception of the police by increasing the number of positive encounters during their engagement. With our focus of establishing more centers across the Republic will enable the National Police Service to have centers of excellence in dealing with the sexual and gender-based violence, nearer to the people, whereby reducing the need for victims to make long-distance torturous journeys to seek justice. Officers will be trained to specifically handle such cases, whereby reducing competition arising from other assignments. Your Excellency, the First Lady, we appreciate your contribution you have made in the welfare of children and women in Kenya. This program will go a long way in complementing your work. Going forward, I wish to affirm our commitment to achieving measurable police reforms, not just in the welfare of police officers, but more effort will be put in the new innovations such as this, for that will enhance service delivery to the Kenyan citizens by reducing transaction costs and becoming more open, accessible, and demand-driven. Your Excellency, I would urge all institutions, members of goodwill, to support Policare. We have not started operationalization of the Policare program. We have one at Old Nairobi area, and the Batuk has sponsored us at Nanyuki. But whatever they have sponsored, you will not be able to complete the project. The project is supposed to spend 9 million, but they gave out 4.2 million, and the program, the 4.2 million will add at the roofing of that building. So this is not a government-funded program. So we need all well-wishers to support the program. And for those maybe who doesn't know, police care is short of police cares. is not the rude police officers. We want to change ourselves so that we can be able to give quality service to the members of the public. With those many words, I thank all of you, and I wish you God blessing. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana DIG. Thank you very much. At this hour, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Public Service, Gender, Senior Citizenship Affairs, and Special Programs, Professor Margaret Kobia, to address the gathering.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. Your Excellency, Honorable Margaret Kenyatta, First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, my colleague, Dr. Fred Matiang, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Interior, the Principal Secretary present, the CAS is present, the commissions represented here, Chair of National Gender and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, on behalf of the Ministry responsible for policy and coordination on promotion of gender equality, we are greatly honored to join you as you preside over the launch of Policare policy that supports government multi-stakeholders approach to tackling gender-based violence. Your Excellency, I thank you and your team for the programs and projects that your office has been implementing both at the national and the county government. Your Excellency, we recognize gender-based violence recognizes or achieves better through multi-agency. In the program that we run as a government responsible for promotion of gender equality, Your Excellency, our role is to coordinate policy, and at the end of it, we should be able to tell who is doing what in the alignment of the vision Kenya wants to deliver. In particular, Your Excellency, from the testimonies you have heard here, every survivor who stood here, I could say, stands for over 1,000 people. I am sure that is not the country we would want to have, and that's why the government has put a multi-agency forum or framework to coordinate gender-based violence, being informed by the research that was done by National Crime Center that was pointed during COVID. Almost the incidences of sexual and gender-based violence, Your Excellency, increased by 92%. It's not only a Kenyan phenomenon, it's global, but we have to do something about it at the local level. Your Excellency, we are Ministry of responsible for gender in that framework, Ministry of Interior and the Coordination of National Function, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Treasury, and ICT, and the county government. We have also found it wise, Your Excellency, to put the Office of DPP, Judiciary, private sector, civil society, and development partner. Therefore, the launch of the Policare policy is a great innovation of linking sexual and gender-based violence services together in one-stop shop. Congratulations to the Ministry, CS, Ministry of Interior, IG, the National Police Service, and all the teams that have been involved in the launch of this Policare. In conclusion, Your Excellency, as a ministry responsible for promotion of gender equality, we will continue to work in collaboration with all stakeholders and your office towards achieving commitment that the country has made towards an equal and a better future for all of us. Your Excellency, we sometimes we struggle to get the clarity of what kind of society do we need. And for sure, gender-based violence, as we have heard from the testimonies, has a relationship with the poverty. Therefore, we have to look at the totality of what efforts, economic, social, political, would yield to getting a better and equal future. And we are very happy to have this new initiative because all of us who have been working in this sector, we are very clear what is the issue. But having a framework that puts all the innovation in responding and preventing, I think for us, we are extremely happy to join you, Your Excellency, here to learn today and commit ourselves that we are going to do whatever it takes to make sure we have measurable results to see that we are making progress towards eradicating gender-based violence. Finally, Your Excellency, allow me to thank all the actors for developing this Policare policy, the strategy, and also the standard operating procedures and the strategic plan 2025. And when implemented, they will make the real impact that this country is looking for. I thank you.
Thank you, Waziri. Your Excellency, at this point, allow me now to invite the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, to speak to us and in turn invite you to address the gathering.
Your Excellency, our gracious and beloved First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, the mother of our nation, my sister and my colleague, our Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Public Service, Madam Margaret Kobia, the CASs who are here, the Principal Secretaries who are here, led by our own PS, Dr. Karanja Kibicho, the Director General of the Kenya School of Government, senior government officials, elected leaders present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, for nearly 10 years, during which His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta has been battling with police reform, the focus has been to change the ideology of policing the country. For over 6 decades since independence, we had a police force that was force-driven in terms of enforcing law and order before the new constitution, and therefore the necessity to transform the police from a force to a service so that they become the go-to institution that we ought to be. And I thank the Lord that we have had the opportunity to live in our country at this point in time when a lot of good stuff has been done to support the police service. The Policare that we launched today is part of that process of transforming the ideology of policing the country so that the police are the go-to people and the police is the one institution you should go for all manner of help. The heart-wrenching testimonials we have listened to this morning are evidence of the animal in us, and it came out even more since March last year when we were struck by COVID-19. Our colleagues at the National Crime Research Center have been documenting data, and as Professor Kobia says, this is a global phenomenon. But we thank all our partners. We thank you, Your Excellency, for supporting the initiative of Policare, because what we will do is we are going to have a one-stop shop or one-stop center where victims of gender-based violence can go for counseling, for help, and for rehabilitation. The challenge we have, in my view, is twofold. One, all of us, and on this particular occasion, ma'am, allow me to take advantage of this occasion to address my colleagues in the National Police Service, that we will cover a lot of ground if we changed attitude, because that is the first challenge. All of us must now change our attitude towards our policing responsibilities and understand gender-based violence as the most cruel reality of our society that we have to fight. Two, Your Excellency, and I'm really grateful that you found time to be here to launch this. We all need to go out there and build a broad-based coalition and involve others and build community support so that the work that Policare is going to do can be supported by other actors. We have capacity as police, yes, but we will not do it alone. And that's why I'm so grateful that the Gender Commission is in this. A good number of elected leaders are working with us on these, civil society organizations, and a broad range of non-state actors are working on this with us. Going forward, Your Excellency, we will do our best to enhance the involvement of others so that these Policare institutions do not become just an event. They become a reality of how we do policing. They become a reality of how we build our communities. And they become avenues of outreach towards transforming society's attitude towards women, frankly speaking, and dealing with how we handle some of the challenges that we face. What we are doing today, Your Excellency, is the beginning of a journey. The destination and the end state is that we create a public service infrastructure through the police that provides an avenue and an opportunity for gender-based violence victims to be supported and to be addressed. Because then we will be truly a human society that cares for each other and a society that is going to develop. We are not going to develop and do big things, build things and grow our economy when we are also animals in the manner in which we deal with our fellow human beings. So to deal with the animal within, we really have to invest every effort and every opportunity we have to support the growth of the Policare. Before I take my seat, Your Excellency, I need to make this commitment to you that on my own behalf and on behalf of my colleagues at the Ministry of Interior and on behalf of the National Police Service, we will give this all our attention and ensure that as we go forward, even in some of our activities with the county and regional security teams, we will now begin to build a framework of supporting Policare as a way of moving forward. My colleagues from the police service, let not the First Lady's time and energy be spent in vain. Let us make this something that we are going to be proud of. Very finally, Your Excellency, before I take my seat, as a citizen of this country, not as a public servant or as a minister, as a citizen of this country, I want to tell you this from the bottom of my heart. And I believe I speak on behalf of very many Kenyans. We are so proud of you because you have distinctly given our country unparalleled honor and respect because of the way you have executed your public life, the way you have carried on, the attention you pay to our children and our wives and women. You have given us an unparalleled place in the globe. We can't thank you enough for that. You could have, because truth be told, Your Excellency, you could have just gone about your life as the First Lady. This is not a demand on you by the Constitution. It is out of your grace and the energy that you have personally put into these things that our country has gained respect, and courtesy of the work you do, the issues of children and women in our country have remained on the front burner of the work that we do as a nation. So, Your Excellency, I sincerely thank you as a citizen of this country. And I believe on behalf of many of my colleagues in the public service, we thank you for what you have done to the image of our country and for what you have done to our families as our First Lady. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, it's now my distinct pleasure and honor to invite you to join me, to be upstanding as we invite our First Lady and the mother of our nation to speak to us today, Your Excellency, the First Lady.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Kindly be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's an honor to be invited to launch the Policare policy, which forms the roadmap to the National Police Service's integrated response to gender-based violence. I applaud the service for demonstrating effective leadership by coming up with an innovative and transformative initiative which aims to effectively respond to victims of violence. The idea of this integrated response to gender-based violence is also aligned to the commitment made by His Excellency the President earlier this year during the Generation Equality Forum held in Paris. This initiative, therefore, amplifies our national commitment to ending all forms of gender-based violence by 2026 and female genital mutilation by 2022. It also aligns with the commitments made during the 25th anniversary conference on the International Conference on Population and Development, Nairobi Summit, to end female genital mutilation by strengthening coordination on legislation and policy framework, communication, advocacy, and evidence generation on elimination of FGM. Further, we have committed to end all forms of gender-based violence, including child and forced marriages, by addressing social and cultural norms that propagate the vice, whilst providing support to women and girls who have been affected. And lastly, we must ensure universal access to quality reproductive health services, including the prevention and management of GBV. I thank all the partners represented here for your contribution in the preparation of these operational documents designed to enhance service delivery to Kenyans in responding to sexual and gender-based violence in all its forms. Today's agenda is especially important to me because the world over, we recognize that women and girls are the most vulnerable against many forms of violence. These types of violence require special treatment and support services, which is the objective of Policare. It will provide a framework that strengthens the capacity of the police service so that they can effectively and efficiently prevent and respond to the plight of vulnerable women and girls. Your public duty and responsibility in this instance is vital because you are the front line. You are the first point of contact to help for victims of gender-based violence. You need to gain their trust so that the victims feel safe as you conduct your investigations and gather evidence against these crimes. We are, however, aware that addressing gender-based violence is complex and requires multi-sectorial coordination and support from all sectors, including the courts, prisons, communities, non-governmental organizations, and civil society. And so as we celebrate the launch of this policy, I acknowledge the coordinated efforts of all partners here today and thank you for your contribution and commitment towards ensuring the successful implementation of this policy. It is my hope that Policare centers will be swiftly replicated across the country so that victims and survivors of GBV have access to the full spectrum of services available to them. We, however, know that police and legislation alone cannot change customs, cultural practices, beliefs that continue to impede the legal and legislative reforms. Underreporting is particularly acute among certain groups of women and girls facing multiple forms of discrimination, which place them at higher risk of recurring violence. But these crimes are not only committed against women and girls alone, there are men and boys also. The success of this noble effort that we are launching today will require scaling up our joint efforts in advocacy and public awareness so that victims feel empowered and safe to communicate their experiences. It will also require that we take time to address the root causes of violence. I'm pleased to note that through the Policare initiatives, public awareness has already been advanced in 26 counties so that in every community, service and justice will be delivered close to where the victims are seeking help. On my part, I will continue to advocate and support initiatives such as the one we're launching today. As I conclude, let me once again convey my appreciation of the Policare concept and congratulate you all for this significant step towards addressing, responding, and managing gender-based violence in Kenya. I pay special tribute to the National Police Service leadership for this initiative and wish you success as you implement this new response system. With those remarks, I now declare the Policare operational policy document officially launched. Thank you.
Can we give another round of applause to Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya? Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And at this time, Your Excellency, I will invite you down here, accompanied by the dignitaries, so that you can come and conduct the launch here.
Naam, mtazamaji, bila shaka ni mpango wa Policare ambao unazinduliwa katika kitengo cha mafunzo ya serikali. Bila shaka mpango ambao unazinduliwa na mkewe Rais Bi Margaret Kenyatta. Mtazamaji, ni mpango wa kuhakikisha kwamba maafisa wa polisi wanapata mafunzo ya kukabiliana na dhuluma za kijinsia. Hivyo basi taarifa kwa kina utakuwa unazipata hapo baadaye kuhusiana na mpango huo. Bila shaka mtazamaji, hebu tupate picha hizo za kuzinduliwa kwa moja na mke wa Rais Margaret Kenyatta, mpango wa Policare ambao umezinduliwa sasa. Mtazamaji, maafisa wa polisi watakuwa wanapokea haya mafunzo kuhusiana na jinsi ya kukabiliana na dhuluma za kijinsia katika jamii, hasa wakati huu ambapo visa hivi vimeonekana kuongezeka kabisa humu nchini. Na bila shaka Margaret Kenyatta akisema kwamba sheria peke yake na polisi haziwezi kusuluhisha swala hili, ila ni kuhakikisha sote kama jamii basi tunakabiliana na tatizo hili ambalo liko kwenye jamii. Bila shaka vile amezungumza awali ambaye ni waziri wa usalama wa ndani Daktari Fred Matiang'i kuhusiana na swala lenyewe. Kama nilivyokuarifu ni kuwa hii ni taarifa ambayo tunazidi kuipa kipaumbele. Hapo baadaye nitakuwa nakupa mengi zaidi kuhusiana na taarifa yenyewe.
And now it's your turn, Your Excellency. The First Lady is going to present that copy to the CS Interior on behalf of the National Coordination Services. Tupige makofi tafadhali. To the Minister of Interior, thank you. And that one to CS Kobia also is going to be presented with a copy. Let us give another round of applause. Thank you very much. It is done. And there's a t-shirt, special t-shirt, Your Excellency. There is a special t-shirt in memory of Policare, priceless dignity. Can you give another round of applause? Yes. And NPS integrated response to SGBV. Thank you. Thank you. And it has a cape also. Wow. Wonderful. There's something else? Oh. Thank you, and a diary from the Kenya Police Service. Let us give another round of applause to Her Excellency, the First Lady, for acknowledging and receiving the gifts on our behalf. Back to the dais, Your Excellency. I request that you...
Mtazamaji unaendelea kutazama taarifa za leo mashinani. Kufikia hapo basi naomba nipate mapumziko mafupi. Muda si mrefu nitakuwa narudi na awamu ya pili. Na nikirudi basi kama nilivyokuahidi, siku leo tunaangazia swala la siasa kule mashinani mtazamaji, ambapo siku leo taswira kule mashinani nazungumza naye naibu gavana wa kaunti ya Machakos Bwana